Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is an honor to participate in the International Student Social Responsibility Conference 2016. I would like to take this privilege to congratulate the leadership, the organizers, FIDA Foundation, the sponsors, and the volunteers to have made this conference a success today. Unfortunately, due to my commitments, I was unable to make it to the conference at Lahore. So we thought that we can take advantage of the technology and try to perhaps share a video presentation with you. I have written down the presentation, or a speech as you may call, because I thought that there are many points which I wanted to make sure that they're not missed. And inshallah, they should be, I'll try to clearly communicate each one of them. Our world today seeks peace and progress. And I believe these are the two most fundamental issues that the world faces today. The grand objective, it cannot be achieved without building a strong character of every individual in our society. We believe that everything pins down to character building, and this is where the roots are about forming a great society and to look at the large picture, form a great nation. While the education system plays its role to provide knowledge, it has restrained itself from educating the students about honor, truthfulness, honesty, integrity, and social responsibility. And I'm not trying to paint everybody with the same brush, but it is unfortunate to know that the majority of our students have failed to realize about their obligation towards their society. Their responsibility towards the different elements of our society, which includes compassion, which includes cleanliness, which includes extending a helping hand. Some of these values are hard to find these days. The ambition to do great, to go an extra mile, to achieve the extraordinary, to lead through innovation, to prove the potential by accepting challenges, to display courage in competition, to stand upright for truth, to hold upon an uncompromising integrity, to create constructive ideas, to respect opinions, to reach the disparity and reduce it between speech and actions, to share love, compassion, and respect. These are some of the elements which unfortunately seems to be fading away from our nation. The very fabric of our society, unfortunately, is now knitted with values that includes greed for money, lies, theft, immoral practices, bribery, corruption, aggression, impatience, and also extremism. So let's not shy away from what is the real picture of our society in Pakistan and in many other countries today. And unless and until we try to cover them up, we can never reach to what is going wrong and what is the root cause of all these problems that we face today. The reason for why Pakistan as a country, we as a nation, are unable to progress and we have failed to earn respect globally. I believe it is time, perhaps it is high time, that we mend our ways, adopt to what is good, and reject evil. We cannot progress or earn respect without changing our belief system. Perhaps going back to the belief system of what has been advised to us in our religion and has been practiced by our great grandfathers and has been practiced by the father of this nation. We need to stop blaming and learn to accept our faults and shortcomings. I come across this society, and especially our own Pakistani brothers and sisters, who try to blame others in everything that happens in their lives. The typical answer to to every question is that since everybody is doing it, so I'm also doing it. And if I request someone that, you know what, your street is dirty and why don't you just stop throwing garbage in front of your home or on the street? And they say, well, my neighbors are doing the same, so I'm going to do the same. Why don't you go to my neighbor first and ask him to stop doing it? Bottom line, nobody wants to take the initiative because we as a society, we as a nation have just stopped, or somehow this concept between and this difference between goodness and badness seems to have eradicated over time. Good seems to be bad and bad seems to be good. And I believe all of this needs to come through by strong character building. We have adopted a culture which is today widely watched probably in cinemas. Well, all of us cannot be Superman. Superman is a fictional character. So is Batman and Spider-Man and many others. They're fiction stories. But I could see my youth, I could see a lot of young people who are trying to follow fictional characters and they're living in their own world of dreams, which is perhaps only entertainment. It's a great industry. It's a great business to be in media or in movies or in dramas and producing all of that stuff. But that's entertainment. That's something to enjoy. It's not something that needs to be blindly followed. If you have other priorities which are perhaps more important, and one of them is our responsibility towards our society. I don't see much difference between the regularly criticized politicians that you find on talk shows these days, all over the globe, by the way, and our nation at large. Both parties, unfortunately, can only talk, blame others, make false promises, speak lies, and frankly, do nothing. I believe it is time for us to step out of our comfort zone and take this challenge upon our shoulders and try to be someone who we really want to be. People who are sitting on political seats in the judiciary system, those who are policemen, who are firemen, who are intelligence agencies, or those are politicians, ministers, all of these people are not some foreigners who are operating in our country. They're people who have been born and bred in Pakistan, in our country, and they're part of our nation, and they're our brothers and sisters. But they have gone through a system, an educational system, or a family system, or a value system, which is just making all of these institutions who have certain power to become worse and become more and more unethical and become more and more corrupt. So what exactly is the root cause? You as youth of Pakistan is the future. If we follow what our ancestors or what the current people in power have followed, and if we follow the same system, well, trust me, once you guys graduate, you'll be following the same system, and you'll be even worse than what they are today. And we as a nation would be even worse than what we are today. So, to bring a change of ethics, of morality, of great values, of integrity, and of honor, I believe we need to change from the very cause, and we need to change from the very foundation of the system, where I believe the education sector, the parents, the family and friends have to play a great role, and most importantly, I believe media has to play a great role. The businessmen have to play a great role. The teachers have to play a great role. And this is how the sense of responsibility, of compassion, of love, of mutual respect will be achieved. It is our youth who has to take the responsibility to bring a change and become socially responsible. Our generations will probably see even worse if this is not done today. And this is the reason for this conference. We cannot win respect globally if this change is not brought and action is not done. The dilemma is that our youth today cannot differentiate any further between good or bad. The realization of what is good needs more awareness. And I believe this will be the first step of Student Social Responsibility Program, which is to create awareness about what is good and what is bad. We need to speak about compassion, forgiveness, respect, integrity, ethics, morals, and manners before we even begin. These basic beliefs will form the foundation of SSR. This awareness will be the driving force for this shining youth that has the potential to inspire the globe, to inspire other nations, and to inspire the world. We as a Pakistani nation are some of the brightest and most intellectual nations. We just need to align our resources and our energy in the right direction. And if there's no one to give us any direction, well, I believe we have the Holy Book and the Sunnah of our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to follow. It is our responsibility to help the poor, to give away to the elderlies, to extend our hand at those who are struggling, to respect, to keep our environment clean, to keep our hearts, our minds, and our tongues clean, to keep our minds focused towards progress, towards success, to be objective oriented, and to help those who have great business ideas or scientific ideas, to give out loans, to spend time with your families, and to respect the janitors, the gardeners, the drivers, the laborers, the nurses, respecting the animal rights, and to make sure that we respect our environment and we're not wasting any resources. This is the foundation of student social responsibility. There are countless things that need our attention and a large number of issues which we can resolve by just being responsible citizens of our society. I can promise you that if we all commit ourselves to being a socially responsible person at the very core, in our everyday life, at our schools, in our profession, at our home, amongst our friends and family, there is absolutely nothing that can stop our nation to progress. And trust me on the fact that we do not need any external help. We can do it all by our own, by just uniting ourselves under one banner of peace, love, progress, compassion, and mutual respect. I wish everyone health, happiness, success, and wealth. I hope that all of us present at the conference or watching this conference in other countries will support the cause of SSR and will promise to bring a great change that will change humanity and its foundations for good. Thank you very much. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.